in the latest.
She is a her and JT. All these. What don't y'all understand?
To be on payroll.
How many ways do I have to say it? These is wild. They pay big to do damage and procure victims. They're sex traffickers, and all of these bitches is whores. Sex worker. $250,000 a month to do strange shit at will. You couldn't wait for Cassie to run. Viagra to make sure that the involuntarily stays hard while you're numbing your fucking self with the. Now see, the ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer, so that relaxes all your muscles. You could get fucked by 80 fucking ton gorillas. You wouldn't feel it.
Jaguar Wright just went off on Young Miami. She torched her online after Miami popped up celebrating Diddy beating his RICO charge. Wild part? Not too long ago, Miami was crying online, panicking, and literally begging folks to stop dragging her name into the mess. She was shook, and now she want to flip the script and act all bold the moment Diddy walks free? Please, let's be real. Young Miami wasn't just chilling with Diddy for fun. Word is she was getting $250,000 a month, flying out on luxury trips, rocking designer gifts, and doing whatever Diddy wanted. The rumors say she even let him do that golden shower mess with her, regularly. But it didn't stop there. Allegedly, she even brought her own family into Diddy's twisted parties. One claim says she told her own cousin to mess with a drunk man on camera. Yes, on camera! And guess who was watching? Diddy, just sitting back, watching while things went down in the background. Miami wasn't just involved, she was part of organizing these creepy freak-off parties all over Hollywood. It's giving disturbing. People say she helped line things up for Diddy and other powerful men in the industry to take advantage of young artists chasing their dreams. Innocent people who had no idea what they were walking into. Not too long ago, all this caught up with her when one of Diddy's own producers, Lil Rod, dropped a $30 million lawsuit. In that bombshell, he didn't just accuse Diddy, he called out Young Miami too. He said she was helping coordinate all this stuff, even connecting him with escorts. And some of them, reportedly, were underage. That's beyond messed up. Lil Rod says the nightmare happened at one of Diddy's fancy all-white Thanksgiving parties in 2022. He thought he was there to work on Diddy's album, nothing more. But according to him, Diddy had other plans. Lil Rod claims his drink was laced with something, and once it kicked in, things took a terrifying turn. He says Miami's cousin stormed into the bathroom where he was trying to get himself together and started messing with him without consent. He says he tried to push her away and get out of there, but she followed him, still pushing it. Then allegedly, she started taking her clothes off, trying to force herself on him right in front of Diddy. Now here's where things get real twisted. Lil Rod didn't just drop Diddy's name, he exposed the whole setup. According to him, Young Miami was on Diddy's payroll, getting paid monthly to play her role in his shady operation. Robin Greenhill, his accountant, was in charge of sending wire transfers and cash payouts to his so-called workers. Yeah, they really had it running like a business. Other names in the mix? Frankie, Ella, Moy, Bound, Brendan Paul, and KK, allegedly all part of the crew handling payments to Diddy's inner circle. Miami, along with Jade and Daphne Joy, were reportedly getting their monthly cut straight from Greenhill. And all this lined up with claims that Diddy was running a full-blown underground operation right under everyone's nose. Here's the messed up part. People said the only reason Young Miami got that VIP treatment, unlike the rest of the women Diddy messed with, was because she allowed certain things others wouldn't. Word on the street? She was getting peed on regularly. But that wasn't all. She was allegedly the one lining up girls for Diddy's wild parties and even delivering him crazy amounts of pink to keep the night going. That pink? That's not just street stuff. It's serious. Prosecutors even confirmed they found it in his hotel room the day he got arrested, along with bottles of baby oil and Astroglide. What does that tell you? He was definitely gearing up for another freak-off session. At first, folks thought the pink was just a fancy version of Coke. But Jaguar Wright, who's been calling Diddy out before this mess even hit the blogs, said it's way worse. She said Diddy was handing Miami up to $500,000 a month and asked the question we're all thinking. Why would he pay that much if she wasn't giving up more than just time? According to Jaguar, the pink that Miami was transporting is known in the streets as Tosi, a dangerous blend of hardcore substances. We're talking ketamine, coke, Viagra, and who knows what else. Ketamine is usually used on animals to calm them down, while the other stuff keeps people hyped and awake all night. But here's the kicker. Coke might keep you up, but it messes with your drive. That's why they throw in the Viagra to make sure people can still perform at those twisted freak-offs. It gets wild. This pink cocktail that Diddy allegedly used at his parties? It was designed to keep everyone going non-stop. Thanks to the mix of substances, each doing its own thing, it gave people the stamina to keep the party rolling all night long. Folks weren't taking these substances separately anymore. They were all blended into one supercharged combo, the pink. And guess who was in charge of getting that stuff into Diddy's hands every time a party popped off? Yup, Young Miami. According to multiple sources, without the pink, those freak-offs couldn't even happen. That's how serious it was. Diddy reportedly went all out to make sure Miami could deliver it, flying her on private jets, throwing extra cash to keep her from being searched at the airport, all so he could get his supply whenever he wanted to get wild. This stuff was so strong, it's said that not even a brick wall would feel pain under its influence. That's how intense these parties were. But hold up, it doesn't stop with Diddy. Jaguar Wright claims this isn't just his twisted setup. These types of freak-off parties go down all the time, hosted by different industry elites in different cities, sometimes multiple times a week, whole underground network, and barely anyone talks about it. But here's what really sets Young Miami apart. She wasn't being forced. According to Jaguar, she was willing and cashing in big time. She didn't just participate, she was deep in it and seemed to enjoy every second of it. While others like Cassie later came forward about how traumatizing it was, Miami straight up bragged about it on her own talk show. Yeah, she publicly admitted that she likes getting golden showers and didn't even flinch while saying it. Cassie told the courts that those same golden showers were humiliating and something she hated. Meanwhile, Miami was out here smiling about it on camera, even telling others to try it like it's some kind of luxury spa treatment. Most people would be horrified by someone letting all that body fluid rain down on their face, but Miami. She was proudly promoting it like it's her new skincare routine, straight up wild. But here's where it gets even more twisted. While Young Miami was out here flaunting her connection to Diddy, real victims were out there suffering in silence. People who didn't have her money, her platform, or her protection. Folks say Miami wasn't just some side piece, she was part of the machine. She helped keep the whole setup moving smoothly, and got rewarded handsomely for it. Insiders claim she had Diddy wrapped around her finger, not just because of what she did at those parties, but because she knew too much. She saw everything, heard everything, and Diddy made sure to keep her close so she wouldn't speak out. That's why, even when the lawsuits started piling up, she stayed untouched. No charges, no heat, just luxury flights and iced-out watches. And the girls she allegedly brought in, they weren't all Hollywood insiders. Some were regular girls, aspiring models, dancers, or influencers hoping to get a break. Miami allegedly played the role of the cool big sis, making them feel safe, hyping up the lifestyle, and telling them it was all just fun. But once they stepped into that scene, there was no way out. And most of them didn't even realize what they signed up for until it was way too late. Meanwhile, Diddy kept holding parties in hidden mansions, exotic islands, and penthouse hotels. Miami stayed right there in the mix, dressed to the nines, drink in hand, smiling for the cameras, while stuff behind the scenes kept getting darker. Some insiders even claimed that whenever someone spoke up or tried to leave, they'd mysteriously vanish from the spotlight. Instagram gone, brand deals gone, silence. Yet through all this, Miami kept her status, untouchable, and every time someone tried to question her involvement, she'd post a new outfit, a new car, or hop on live and laugh like it's all just gossip. But the silence from the people she brought into that world, that says everything. Because when you're that deep in, and the man funding your lifestyle is the same one being accused of ruining lives, what does that make you? The internet hasn't stayed quiet either. As more disturbing details come out, people have been dragging Young Miami across every platform, calling her out for staying silent while survivors speak up with chilling stories. But instead of responding with clarity or compassion, she keeps acting unbothered, like none of this has anything to do with her. Every time someone mentions her name in connection to Diddy's lawsuits, she either posts a thirst trap or throws shade with cryptic captions like unbothered or booked and busy. But let's be honest, it's not confidence, it's deflection. The comments under her posts are wild right now. People are asking, how can you be part of all this and still sleep at night? Others straight up say, you're not innocent, you're just protected. And the protection is real. Word is, Diddy made sure anyone in his inner circle was covered legally and financially. If someone started asking questions, he'd throw hush money fast. Private jets, lawyers, fake alibis, you name it. That's why Miami never had to face the same pressure as the other women in his life. She didn't just know where the skeletons were buried. She helped arrange the funerals. Meanwhile, victims like Cassie, Lil Rod, and others are risking everything to speak their truth. They're naming names, exposing timelines, and bringing receipts. But people like Miami, they're playing dress-up on Instagram while pretending none of it matters. It's giving cold, not classy. Even worse, she's still being invited to events, red carpets, and talk shows like nothing ever happened. That's the part that's making folks furious. The industry protects its own, especially when you're part of the mess and the cleanup crew. People are starting to realize that silence doesn't mean innocence. It means control. So while Miami keeps flashing diamonds and sipping champagne, the real question isn't whether she was involved. It's how far she was willing to go to stay in that spotlight. And if she was willing to look the other way while others were being violated. What does that say about the price she put on her own soul? Now people are starting to connect the dots, and it's getting scary. Diddy didn't do all this alone. He had a whole system of enablers around him, and young Miami, she was right there at the center of it. Not just showing up, she was helping run it, and the deeper you dig, the more it looks like she wasn't just benefiting from the chaos. She was protecting it. Hollywood has always had its secrets, but this one, it's different. It's darker. And what's really wild is how many people in the industry knew what was going on, but said nothing. Big-name celebs, producers, influencers. All of them looking the other way while Diddy threw these twisted parties and used people like disposable toys. And Miami? She didn't just turn a blind eye. She played her role and cashed out. You'd think with everything coming out, her peers would start distancing themselves. But nope. She's still getting tagged in posts, invited to award shows, even shouted out in rap songs like she's not linked to one of the ugliest scandals in entertainment history. That silence? That's power protecting power. But the public's waking up. People are demanding answers. They're asking why someone accused of recruiting and enabling abuse is still being treated like a pop culture princess. They're pulling receipts, digging through interviews, podcast clips, old tweets, everything. And what's being uncovered? It's chilling. Clips where Miami laughs off serious topics. Interviews where she jokes about Diddy's wild lifestyle. And footage of her brushing off questions about what really went down at those private events. Every piece just adds to the picture, and it's not a good look. At this point, it's not about whether she's guilty of a crime. It's about what kind of person she's chosen to be. Someone who saw the pain, the trauma, and the destruction, and decided to keep quiet for a check. And maybe the scariest part of all? She's not the only one. It didn't take long before a P did what started trending all over Twitter. And guess who was catching heat this time? Young Miami. People were furious that she sat back and let Diddy do all that to her, then turned around and defended him. But it gets even darker. While we're on the topic of her talk show, CelebBeatz, Jaguar Wright dropped a bombshell. She claimed the name wasn't random or cute. It was actually a dark inside reference to what victims at Diddy's freak-off parties allegedly begged Miami while being abused. Jaguar said boys and girls would cry out to her, CelebBeatz, as they were being assaulted and tortured by Diddy, and sometimes by Miami herself. And the most disturbing part? Miami might have confirmed that energy in a past online beef with Diddy's other alleged fling, Gina Huyn. Miami didn't hold back. She straight up told Gina she could make her drop to her knees and do whatever she wanted just by making one phone call to Diddy. She even wrote, if I wanted you to eat my cookie, Diddy would have you on your knees. You a eater. They doing what I wouldn't do. Like, what? That's not clapback energy. That's straight up creepy. Then fast forward to when Diddy got cleared of his RICO charges. Young Miami didn't waste a second. She hit social media and posted a video of Justin Bieber doing the clock symbol, basically laughing at everyone who doubted her and Diddy. But people weren't laughing back. They dragged her for using Justin's image, especially considering his rumored history with Diddy. One person said, Using Justin Bieber's image? That don't sit right with me after everything I heard about him and Diddy. This is a sick world. Another chimed in, she been weird. That's why JT should have gone solo. Miami can't rap, can barely talk, and still act slow even with all that money. Pretty face with a BBL, but nothing else. Woo! People did not hold back. So now I'm asking you, what do you think about Jaguar calling out Young Miami for celebrating Diddy? And do you think Miami should be investigated too as an accomplice in all this madness? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want even more messy drama, click right here to watch the next explosive video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss the tea again. See you on the next one.